we are joined, because we wanted to do a political show today, so I couldn't think of anybody better. And I got to work with him closely during the impeachment trial when he was at the White House and in our role outside of the ACLJ representing President Trump, as we continue to do through Supreme Court and others. But during the impeachment trial, Hogan was working as deputy press secretary at the White House. Now he is he's the head press secretary for the Trump re-election campaign. And Hogan Gidley, it is great to have you on Jay Sekulow Live. Thanks for joining us on short notice to give everybody an update on the Trump campaign. How are things going? There's been that kind of campaign reshuffle, and I know, Hogan, with you joining the team as well, which I think is great because you're an excellent spokesperson. It's tried and true, but you've also got new ads going up as well across the country. Tell people about it.
Well, first of all, I really appreciate you having me on, Jordan. It's great to talk to you again. And when they came in here and said, "Oh, Jay wants you on his show," I said, "Wonderful." And they said, "Oh, well, Jordan's hosting." I was like, No, forget it. I don't want. No, I was really excited. I tell you, so many great things are going on over here. And as we start to head into the last 90 days of this thing, some of these states are actually going to receive early voting and absentee ballots in the next 35 days. So this thing is moving really, really quickly. And, it's important because, as you know, elections are about choices. And so what are your two choices here? You have someone in Joe Biden, and I always like to say this, campaigns a lot of times are about abstract, like here's what I want to do, here's what I could do, trust me to do these things. But you don't have to guess what the country would look like under Joe Biden. We saw it for 8 years. We saw depressed wages. We saw our economy tank. We saw our jobs going to China. Donald Trump changed all that and brought manufacturing back to this country, 500,000 manufacturing jobs, 7 million jobs created, not to mention more jobs than there were people to fill them in this country. I mean, we were riding high, but then that virus came in from China. And the president took bold early leadership. And you remember, we talked about this in the State of the Union, which Nancy Pelosi tore to shreds. And they were so focused on impeachment at the time, this president was talking about shutting down flights. They called him xenophobic and racist and just tried to throw another log on the impeachment hoax fire. And it never worked. And so this president took the leadership. They're the ones who tried to say it was the wrong thing to do, but it saved lives. And so while we get through this thing, we're going to come out stronger on the better end of it because of President Trump's leadership.
I want to take Vicky's call, Hogan, in Arkansas on line 3. I know you spent a lot of time there with your work with Governor Huckabee. Vicky, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live. You're on the air.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Vicky.
Yes, thank you.
You're on the air with us.
If I could best describe President Trump, Toby Keith, a country music singer, has a song called "American Soldier." That is totally Trump. If anyone would listen to it, that is President Trump.
Now,
he's such a guy, and I'm a Democrat.
You're a Democrat, Vicky.
Yes.
And so has President Trump changed you from becoming a Democrat? I want Hogan to listen to this. So you're a Democrat from Arkansas, and you've changed to becoming a Republican because of President Trump.
Yes, sir.
That is Hogan. To me, that's why I look at all this polling and I say it's so meaningless because there's so many people out there like Vicky who have totally changed their party. If they may not have legally changed their affiliation yet, but who they're going to vote for is totally different than how it was, 5 years ago.
Absolutely. And is Vicky still on the call or no?
She's not with us anymore.
Okay. Well, listen, I got to tell you, she's absolutely representative of what we're seeing, Jordan. And the ad that we put up today, one of them was called Cards, and it features someone who's a member of the silent majority saying all these things about Joe Biden we know to be true, that he is an empty vessel, that he has been filled by the radical socialist policies from the far left wing of the party that embraces things like defunding the police and $7 trillion in tax increases. He's embracing all of those policies now, all of the amnesty for illegal immigrants, making sure they have free health care as well. You have to pay a fine if you're not if you're an American citizen and want Obamacare, but if you're an illegal alien, you get it free. I mean, this is the type of radical policies Joe Biden is now pushing out there, and it's caused people like Vicky who say, look, I used to be a Democrat, but I may not want to say it publicly, but I know who I'm voting for because Donald Trump has provided jobs, has provided an uplifting, unifying, patriotic message for this country because he wants to see us succeed. Everybody, African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, women employed at record numbers under this president because of his policies. And so when you take a look at what he has done and what Joe Biden didn't do for his half of a century in office, the choice is very clear.
You know, Hogan, I know Than Bennett, our director of government affairs, working in Washington, D.C., is working with Congress on trying to get this stimulus through. I know President Trump is too. He's also looking at unilateral actions he can take as president to help hurting Americans. But I know Than's got a question for you.
Yeah, Hogan, good to have you with us. I just wanted to ask you about what happened last week in the United States Senate when the Democrats declined to extend the unemployment insurance benefits for another week. I know there's a debate going on about what level that insurance should be at, but what's your reaction to the blocking of that short-term extension? It seemed to me that would have provided some space for the stimulus to come together, but what's your take on that?
Well, obviously, that's something they're working on hard at the White House. We don't have really much insight into the negotiating process here at the campaign. But what I can tell you is exactly the point you just brought up, which is everyone looking at this says we just need some relief. I mean, it was the government who shut down businesses. The government owes this to the American people now. You're the ones who drove a truck through my living room. Now you got to be responsible for rebuilding the house and patching up the hole. And so often what you've seen on the left in this negotiation, I mean, remember, this is like the fourth or fifth iteration of this where trillions of dollars are being pumped directly into the bank accounts of the American people, and it should be. Democrats already held this thing up multiple times for Green New Deal nonsense, for packages that have nothing to do whatsoever with coronavirus. And you know it's nonsense because the same things they're talking about in this particular bill that have nothing to do with the pandemic we face, it's the same thing they were talking about before coronavirus hit. So you know it's all political. You know it's a power grab, but that's what they're about. And so I'm thankful we have a president who calls them out for it, but I'm also thankful we have a Republican Party that is working hard to try and provide the American people with the relief they deserve, with the relief they need.
Hogan, you know, it was great having you kind of shepherd us through the media side of the impeachment trial, and then, of course, getting to know you better in those behind closed doors when we were not on the Senate floor through those 14 to 18 to 20-hour days when you were White House Deputy Press Secretary. Now you're the National Press Secretary for the Trump reelection campaign. I got a minute left here, but as a campaign guy myself, I got to ask you this question. How different is it? What is the campaign trying to do to campaign at a time when you can't do the traditional kind of campaign activities that someone like President Trump is great at?
Well, what's so amazing is what this campaign has built before I got here with all the online presence. It's like something you've never seen before. So when you have over 1 billion views, people are excited. They want to get out there and support the president, and they're going to do it any way that's available. And right now, it's the online methods. When we get this coronavirus thing under control, hopefully we'll do some more in-person stuff. But right now, people are excited. They're ready to get out and vote for this man because they want 4 more years of unparalleled success.
Great to have Hogan Gidley on live with us.